Hey guys, before we get started, I just want to give you a heads up. This recording came out a little weird. It has like a distortion in it. Not really sure why. We recorded 2 episodes on this day. The second one came out perfect, so not entirely sure why that happened, but just wanted to give you a heads up to bear with us. It's a 50-minute episode, and we talk about Supernatural, the 300th episode coming up, and we talk about a lot of the news and stuff like that. And there's a few things we talk about. But anyways, this episode in particular just sounds funky. I want to let you guys know. All right, thank you very much. Bye. Hey y'all, and welcome to Geek Freaks.
What's up?
I am Frank, and I'm with today Daniel.
What's up, fellas?
Been a while. And then we got Jonathan.
Hey y'all.
Hey y'all. So we're gonna start off with some news, and we're in like mid-January, later January, heating up. Just a heads up, a little behind the curtains, how we do things. We record every other week. We record 2 episodes. That's because getting your guys' schedules in order is like rounding up a bunch of cats. It's like impossible. So the news one week will be super fresh. The news the following week, maybe less fresh. But don't worry, the week after that will be super fresh again. So just a heads up on that. So let's go ahead and get to a couple things. Aquaman passes 1 billion worldwide. Huge success now for DC. What do you guys think this means for DC? I mean, like, they've been having kind of the stalemate with the Batman vs. Superman and stuff like that, and now you have Aquaman or Wonder Woman do real good. Aquaman's following up with a huge success.
That's fueling their fire. They're going to sit there and analyze that movie and see, okay, what did we do different? I'm sure they know in writing it. They probably targeted it differently, like we were saying before. So I think they're going to focus on that and maybe change the Batman and Superman dynamic that they've already built and make it follow Aquaman's path.
Yeah. There's talks that they probably won't use Henry Cavill, and they may not use Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck again.
Yeah, that's a shame. They're so good together.
I like Superman. I didn't like Batman. I didn't like Ben Affleck as Batman. That was horrible.
I don't know if I care for him as acting as Batman, but I did like the Batman character that he portrayed.
I think he does a good job for that version of Batman, but I just don't care for that version of Batman. I think might be it too. Who would you rather see as Batman? I think I talked about this before. I'd like to see Jake Gyllenhaal myself, who is later in their news.
Yeah, I don't know. I would take some.
I would go back to Christian Bale. I think I didn't like the voice that he would like the dark voice, but I think he portrayed Batman really well.
Yeah. Now, Jonathan, the wheels are spinning for Jonathan.
I'm trying to think, but I can't think of anybody that could really bring that powerful but still kind of dark presence. So.
All right, well,
I'll keep thinking about it.
Keep thinking about it. Shout it out as we go through this episode. All right, and the Uncharted movie. There's a movie coming for Uncharted, the PlayStation mega hit. They just got their director. It is Dan. This is his name. Dan Trachtenberg. Nice name. He's the guy that did 10 Cloverfield Lane. You guys ever see 10 Cloverfield Lane?
No, I just know about it.
Oh, it's so good. John, you should watch it.
Yeah.
Not with your wife because she's scared of movies.
Exactly. I haven't seen any good scary movies in a long time now.
John Goodman's portrayal in that. I mean, just throw Oscars at him. Somebody throw a bunch of Oscars at him.
Truckload Oscars.
I feel like you could cut the last 10 minutes of that movie off and it'd be even better, but it's still really good. Because the last 10 minutes, I won't say anything. It's really good.
So stop it early. Gotcha.
If you stop it early, it's even better. But yeah. But yeah, Uncharted should be really good. I think it's going to be kind of like a Mummy. You know Uncharted, right?
But I never actually played it. I just
Neither have I. I know of it.
If Squeaks was here, he'd be like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!"
Yeah. So that'd be pretty cool. We have the new Spider-Man Far From Home trailer came out. Speaking of Jake Gyllenhaal, who's playing Mysterio. Did you guys catch it yet?
Mm-mm.
It's really good. It shows that Peter's trying to get tired of the Spider-Man life. This is direct. They said that it'll pick up minutes after Endgame, Avengers Endgame. So he's home. He's a little tired of the Spider-Man life. Just wants to take a break for a bit. So he's just going to want to be a kid. He's going on a vacation with the friends, like a school vacation to Europe. And when he's there, there's the elemental monsters that are attacking. And Mysterio is the hero. I put quotation marks. You guys can't see. Hero that comes in and like saves the day. And as you guys all know, Mysterio is actually a bad guy. So this is actually the first 20 comics of Amazing Spider-Man is where they're pulling all this stuff from. This is kind of mirroring one of those storylines. So Mysterio is an illusionist. There's a good chance these elemental monsters are his creation, and he's using them to like look like a good guy.
Yeah.
Well, who's the Syndrome from Incredibles?
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's a syndrome effect.
Yeah.
Actually, sounds like a real effect. Syndrome effect. But yeah, so that'd be pretty cool.
Well, which one's coming out first? Are they actually coming out with Endgame first?
Endgame will be first, yeah.
Oh, it will come out.
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought I've seen like Spider-Man coming out before it. Endgame. I was like, okay, that's kind of dumb.
The timeline is so wonky now, especially since in Endgame everything shows that we're going to see a lot of time travel. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of excited for that because I love time travel movies and I love time travel in movies, especially when they're not, something that's kind of out of this world. But a lot of them on the set stuff, we'll see like older man version of Tony Stark talking to the very first Avengers movie version of Captain America. So it's like really wonky timelines. That's all from set filming from the set.
Wait, why are they going to have time travel?
Because what it looks like, this is speculation, so it's not even spoilers. It looks like they're going to go back in time to get all the stones to try to fix what Thanos did.
Oh, yeah, because I forget that... what's his name?
The gauntlet breaks. The hand thing breaks, right?
The Russo brothers said it just takes a while for them to get the gauntlet working again.
Oh, okay. Because I seen the movie finally the other day.
Yeah.
Amazing movie.
Delayed. Yeah. Give your review for Avengers Infinity War.
My whole list of Marvel movies totally changes now after I just seen this movie. It was good.
We're going to have to redo that MCU list after the next couple movies come out.
Doctor Strange, that's something that actually... I was sitting there like, who's that can control time in that universe? But yeah, Doctor Strange can...
Well, he doesn't control time. He controls space, right?
Well, no, he controls time. Yeah. Doctor Strange does. Because he had the time gem. He's going to bring back time. But the thing that will let them travel through time without him is Ant-Man. Because if they go to the quantum realm, they can bounce around in time, in space, and they come back out.
I got you.
You know what? He wasn't in Avengers.
On purpose.
Oh, really?
Him and Hawkman. Oh my God, wrong. Hawkeye, thank you. Who's now going to be Ronin in the next one, which is this whole... We'll talk about it later on. But yeah, it's this whole other thing. It's really awesome. So we have seen Ronin in his costume now, so that's pretty cool. Last bit of... movie news. Disney is making a Hunchback of Notre Dame live action movie. Yeah.
I don't really care for the cartoon.
It's okay.
I liked it. I thought it was a good movie, but it's just kind of sad. And you think of like how they're going to portray that monster of a man. Yeah. Put him in a live body, then you're going to feel even worse. It's going to be more realistic and more emotional. So
it's funny to me that they're going through all their best Disney movies right now. We're seeing Aladdin and Dumbo. I love a Dumbo, and we got Lion King coming out, right? So we got all these golden age kind of type movies, And then the next one's Hunchback of Notre Dame, and that's the one I'm like, I don't want to see that. And that's exactly what happened back in the day in the cartoon days. They were like, killer, killer, killer. Hunchback of Notre Dame came out, and the whole thing fell flat after that. It's like, what was that? Home on the Range or something like that was the one following that. It was just a total dud. It was Pixar that ended up revitalizing Disney after that.
Yeah.
So they might be repeating.
They should have done
the 90s.
Little Mermaid first.
Why did they do Little Mermaid first?
Tie Little Mermaid into Aquaman?
It's in production. Little Mermaid I know is in production, but I just haven't seen any news on it yet.
Yeah, because I know they came out with that one movie of Little Mermaid, but it wasn't made by Disney.
Yeah.
Some random company. I don't know. It looked kind of...
cheesy. Like janky, one of those straight to DVD.
I think it's like she even goes to a circus or something like that.
What the heck?
Yeah, something like that.
Kind of sounds good.
Just saying. What are you talking about?
P.T. Barnum's there.
Don't ruin Little Mermaid.
Well, Little Mermaid was around way before Disney, and it was actually about her wanting to eat people or something. It was a whole other crazy story, yeah. So that's how all the fairy tales are, though. It's like, oh my God, the Sleeping Beauty storyline, that is demented. Really? When he wants to kill his wife. The king wants to kill his wife so he can marry Sleeping Beauty. It's a whole weird thing.
You think they'll make A Bug's Life?
That would be good.
That'd be interesting.
But not live action, right? Just
live action. I'm talking about live action. I wonder if they could.
I think they could do that.
Why would you make an entire movie live action when the entire live action movie is just going to be a camera
and then it could be like 3D
setting, and then everything is going to be animated?
They can make it 3D also, especially when he flies on the planet. I mean, hey,
that's the only thing that might stop that is because that's a Pixar. So Pixar might not do that because then you open up Wall-E's and Toy Stories and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would just reanimate it fully animated though, with our better quality animation now. But
no.
I imagine it done with the same style as The Incredibles or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd just be fresh and newly animated. But that'd be a good story.
All right. So for some TV news, Netflix has ordered a reboot of Unsolved Mysteries. This is going to be have Sean Levy, who does the producing for Stranger Things. He's going to be producing this new show. You guys remember Unsolved Mysteries from back in the day? It was a true crime show. I super loved it.
I vaguely remember it. I can't pinpoint an episode, but...
You see the title card, you'll know it.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, it was a really good show from back in the day. They're bringing it back.
It was kind of like Twilight Zone, right? That kind of...
It was a little more true crime than that, but it had that feel. It definitely had a Twilight Zone intro feel. Yeah. I can't remember the narrator's voice, but he was always like, on Unsolved Mysteries. Like, he always talked like that. It was really good. Nice. Steve Carell, you guys remember Steve Carell from The Office?
Yeah.
Michael Scott. Him and Greg Daniels, the guy who created The Office, are making a new show called Space Force. And it's Netflix original, and it's going to be based, from my understanding, The Office in space.
Nice.
So I'm totally on board.
That'll be like cool. Spaceballs in a cubicle?
I don't think it'll be as wacky as Spaceballs.
Oh, okay.
I think it'll be just like daily life in Space Force, you know. No, we gotta explore the asteroid belt, but I got a crush on Pam or something like that. You know.
I wonder if they're gonna follow more Star Wars or Star Trek setting.
There's very little information out so far. I would assume Star Trek, because Star Trek leans itself more into everyday life than Star Wars does.
Realistic.
Because part of Star Trek is you see it. That's TV format, though.
Yeah. Because like in Star Wars, where there's just like a bunch of guys with those big helmets pushing buttons and the Death Star, like, which is just one of those guys. you see someone come with lightsaber, like, I know I should run and go shoot at it, but I think I'm gonna go take a crap right now. It's a good time. Sorry, boss. Can I take a smoke break? Your third one today.
It's crazy, but you know what's got some of the best content for the everyday life on the Death Star is Robot Chicken. Yeah. Their Star Wars episodes are so excellent, and one of my favorites is one of the stormtroopers. It's like, take your daughter to work day, and so he has his daughter to work the whole time while they're doing things. Oh, it's fantastic. And then Seth MacFarlane, who's does Orville and he's Family Guy. He does the voice of the Emperor Palpatine, and then he's hilarious. So that's my favorite Emperor portrayal ever. All right, let's talk into some game news here. EA cancels, speaking of Star Wars, EA cancels their Star Wars game that they're in development. It was an open world Star Wars game, and they canceled it. So here's the hard part. EA is in a 10-year deal with Disney to make all the Star Wars games, and so far they've pretty much all been flops. Yeah. The best one was Battlefront 1, did good numbers-wise, but Battlefront 2 came out and nobody cared. Did you even know they came out with Battlefront 2?
Yeah, I have it. I played it.
No, you have one. Yeah.
The one was for the Xbox, no? The original Xbox.
No, I'm not talking about... Yeah, I know. I'm not talking about the old Star Wars Battlefronts.
Oh, but the newer ones.
Yeah, the rebooted ones.
Oh, okay.
You played the rebooted one. Yeah. You and me both bought it.
Yeah. And they came
with a sequel that nobody even cared about.
I blame their marketing department. I didn't even hear about it.
Well, I forget. There's a lot of games that came out at the same time as Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
So... I remember it came out. I remember watching the commercials and stuff, but I never got it because I forget what game came out at the time too. And I was like, eh.
Well, the problem. So EA is blaming Disney for all this because they're like, look, you guys bombed on the Star Wars movies, making the Star Wars franchise less valuable. So our deal's not as strong anymore. It's been they're like 8 years into the 10-year deal.
Who said they bombed on the Star Wars movies?
Well, so Star Wars has had to retool their whole plan. They were going to do the trilogy. They had another trilogy planned, and they were going to do all the anthology movies. Yeah. Boba Fett movie and all stuff like that. Because of the reaction to like the Solo movie, they've canceled all future anthology movies. Wow. They've canceled the future trilogy movie, and they're just finishing this one out, and then we'll see what happens, kind of thing. So it really dropped the value of Star Wars, the brand.
That's crazy.
I like the Solo movie.
You know what's funny is the second time I watched it, actually I think I watched it the second time when I was on a cruise with both of you guys. It's a lot better than second view. I think it's something that's worth sitting down and watching again.
Yeah, it was good. I really liked it.
Yeah, I know Squeaks is a big fan too. I went and saw Squeaks in theaters first time.
Yeah, wasn't there a open world Star Wars game that came out like 4 or 5 years ago?
There was a MMORPG we played called Old Republic. That was a lot of fun.
That's what it was. Yeah.
The end game was a little flat.
Yeah. Yeah, I ran out of steam on that one quick.
Well, as a WoW player, stuff like that, I played it I've got a few characters that I got to max level, but once you got to max level, you're like, well, unless my friends are here, it didn't have it was one of those games that I think did a lot of creative things that a lot of other games I feel should take from. They included last names. That's huge. Yeah. Why doesn't WoW do that? If WoW did last names, would free up all the names. So if, for example, everybody knows my gamer tag is TAF, but TAF is taken on a lot of servers. For some reason, TAF's big. And so if I go to a new server and I want to be TAF, I usually can't find that name, but I can find like
the great
TAF Grim Totem, which is in my role playing in my head is the last name of my character, Grim Totem. It makes sense in the lore, trust me. It's a whole thing.
There's no way to type it, but that's his last name. His birth certificate that was hand forged and laminated has Grim Totem on it.
Look. Daniel's not that funny.
That's funny.
I can just see these laminated cards every joke you made.
Okay, guys. First of all, there's a lot of people who are serious about WoW that have backstories for all their characters.
Oh my god.
I have 12 mains on the server. They're all intertangled. It's a crazy story. My rogue used to be on the ship with my Death Knight when he sank. It's a whole thing. Okay, it's really good. Even the mage that I got from you, because remember we merged our accounts?
Yeah.
The mage I got from you, he's like, he's from the future and he came back to like save his grandpa or his uncle and that's my Death Knight. It's a whole thing. It's a really good story. I've been thinking about writing it down, to be honest with you. It's a good...
Oh, man.
A lot of our friends, Daniel, have backstories for all the characters.
Do they really?
Bandita has one for everybody.
Yeah, but that's Bandita, though. That's Bandita.
Of course she's got backstories for all the characters. A lot of people I've talked to have had backstories for their characters. Derek.
I don't have any backstories for. I don't even have a last name. If I had to pick a last name, I'd just put my last name.
Oh my god.
Poor character.
I can never spell that last name. It kills me.
It's pretty easy.
I know.
All right, so that was all about EA's canceling Star Wars. Power Rangers announced a new fighting game. It's a Power Rangers fighting game. It looks super good.
Oh.
It's clean. Yeah, so you could go like Red Ranger versus Green Ranger, Red Ranger versus like...
What is it, like Mortal Kombat
Colby or whatever his name
like
is?
that?
What's that?
It's supposed to be like Mortal Kombat?
It's like Mortal Kombat, but all Power Rangers. These kind of came out of nowhere, too. I didn't see anything about this beforehand. All of a sudden, gameplay footage is out. And so that's coming out in 2019.
You guys no blood. It's more for kids, right?
There's no blood, but it does look like a lot of like super moves. So it's a lot of flashiness. Just like Smash Brothers, I guess, in a way. Very flashy, but not necessarily gory.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. And then Ubisoft, they were making a sci-fi game, and they just canceled that. And I think that might be a bit of a sign of the times, because it's super risky now making big titles, because it's so much easier to make mobile games. You know, mobile games, they make your money back right away. Yeah. You got the microtransactions and stuff like that. They take a lot less man hours to make them. These big games, it's like making a super movie. It's like making a trilogy, cost-wise. And if it's a dud, then you don't make any of your money back, and you could lose your company. Yeah. So I think they're just really being careful. Ubisoft is notorious for having the same formula every time, where it's like, go to a checkpoint, look around. Now you have unlock more of the map, do side missions, do the main mission.
Well, they did make a Division, and they're making Division 2, right?
Right, but that's the thing is like Division is something they know they'll make their money back on because it's already been out. It's got the Tom Clancy stamp, so Tom Clancy always makes the money back, Ghost Recons and stuff like that. But if you look at all the other games, Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, stuff like that, they're all kind of the same format, just a different way of playing them. This sci-fi game was probably going to be the same thing, and they're just like, you know what, we're probably not going to make as much money on this, so they canceled a huge project because of that. So it's pretty crazy.
So you think we're going to stop seeing such big, well-developed games like that?
I think we'll see a lot less of them. And I'm going to be talking about Activision and Blizzard later on, which is a big sign of that too.
Are there any games that tie in with some like mobile game? Like if you play, I don't know, if you play World of Warcraft on PC, but I know they don't have it, but if you had an app on your phone where you can just go mine certain materials or something like that, or go farm certain animals, are there any games that tie together?
There are some games so I remember like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, I think it's called. You could do like in the game you'd send ships out to go do like side missions, and they'd come back with loot. Yeah. And in the app, you can maintain those ships and stuff like that.
Okay.
Grand Theft Auto had a terrible one where there's a little dog, I think his name was Chomp, something like that. He would go and like help you on a couple missions. He was really kind of a crappy side person. Yeah. But in the app, you could like train the dog like it was a Tamagotchi. It was really kind of a bad system, but yeah, that did exist. I'd like to see more of it, actually.
Yeah. I mean, if the apps are what you're saying is bringing more of the revenue nowadays, and those microtransactions of 99 cents to get gold coins for whatever, then utilize that, but don't sacrifice the big, deep, plot of the story.
The problem with that though is I don't want to spend $60 on a game.
Yeah.
With you thinking I'm going to spend more on it.
That's true.
Just like if I were to buy, so League of Legends does it perfect because League of Legends is a free game. Same thing with Fortnite. Fortnite's the same thing. It's a free game. If you want the cosmetics, you pay extra. I mean, how much money have we spent on League of Legends?
A lot.
League of Legends have gotten their fair shake out of us. Yeah. But I don't have to spend that money. You know what I'm saying?
And there's ads in game, right?
They're on the apps, yeah. In your normal PC games and Xbox games, not really. No. But yeah, it's mostly just their cosmetics, which I think is a good way to go. I think that's kind of a nice way to roll. Yeah. You can treat yourself here.
As long as it keeps being profitable for them, then it's good. If people start to eventually not want skins and stuff, then...
Oh, they'll always not want skin. Because they always make that character look kind of ugly, but kind of cool. Yeah. Then you're like, ooh, I need to get a skin because I just popped off and got like 10 kills.
That sentence right there is exactly it too, because a game like League of Legends and like Fortnite is a lot about bragging. Yeah. And when you're doing it in a skin, it's even more like, I got more money than you. Yeah. Go ask your mom for more money.
That's true. So if people lose interest in skins, you just got to give out some for free. And everybody that has them is going to be bragging and showing off and making everyone else mad and want their own.
I think Blizzard in Overwatch does it perfectly. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll talk about that a little bit later because we're going to be talking about Activision and stuff like that. So that'd be pretty crazy. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the news. Anything else you guys wanted to talk about you've been seeing in the news lately? Been kind of a slow news week, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but the only thing I've seen is the Netflix going up in price.
Yeah, that's another... The president mentioned, I thought I had it in here. Netflix is increasing in price. I know I had it somewhere in here. They're going to, for like the normal plan that everybody pretty much has is normally $11, is going to $13 now. That's the one that has HD and 2 devices. So everything's going up a couple bucks.
Do they say why? What do we get anything better out of it?
Well, Netflix as a company has been very shaky for a long time. Yeah. It's been one of those things. It's like, how are you guys making money? You guys keep pouring money into. So they're starting to slowly transition into becoming profitable. Mm-hmm. One of the things was that they're not going to take as many chances on things anymore. That's why Kimmy Schmidt got canceled, stuff like that. And they're going to increase prices until they make their money back.
Because they were originally successful just because they were the first, right? Yeah. Offering a streaming service like that.
Right. Now they have a lot of competition out there. Yeah.
But they're getting pretty good at making original content, so they could eventually be just like another, production company, and if they wanted to stop doing their streaming service, they could, but, if they could make enough to sell to other services. Yeah.
Well, I think one thing, too, is they kind of went with the Uber effect where they tried to make things so awesome and cheap and so much content for cheap that the idea was just to knock out everybody, and then you're the only game in town and increase the price.
Everybody else is finally getting some traction and trying to catch up with them and do what they're doing, and now they actually have real competition in the same...
But they still knocked out what they were trying to compete against at the time. At the time, their competition was Blockbusters, gone. Mm-hmm. Redbox, essentially useless. I mean, there are still... If you're in the rural areas, you use Redbox, but other than that, you don't. Yeah. They did knock out their main competition. Now streaming services, which is a copying of them, but everything they were competing with when they first came out is essentially gone.
They've pretty much changed the game.
Yeah. Well, Hulu's still...
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that's a streaming service that came after them. Oh. But the ones that were there beforehand, I mean, like, even if you were to go buy a Blu-ray, a lot of times it's harder to find Blu-rays and stuff like that now because stores aren't ordering as many.
Yeah, DVDs are going to go extinct before we really need them to.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times HD, you can go get an HD Blu-ray now, or you can just have the HD version of Netflix.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I thought, like, hey, DVDs are going to go away, but it's going to be that you plug in your memory card at a kiosk and download the movie or something like that. Yeah. Or, but now, you don't even need to have your own copy of it. You just pay for the subscription. You don't have to store it anywhere in your memory bank.
All in the cloud.
That's crazy.
Makes us feel old. The future is now.
Yeah. And no control over media, but it's okay.
Yeah. That's true.
You stopped paying that $13, all of a sudden you lost all those movies that you were hoping you were collecting, but you didn't actually get to keep them.
I know. I have... God, how many movies do I have? I think it's over 700 different DVDs and stuff like that for my collection. But yeah, now they're getting real fancy paperweights.
Well, they're going to, like you were saying before, though, they're going to be rare collectibles at some point. I mean, I know there's thousands of copies of every issue of that, but eventually our kids' are going to be like, what the heck is that plastic box you got on the shelf?
Oh, same thing happened with like VHS. Now, no more VHS. Now we're in DVDs and Blu-ray.
Yeah. But some of those VHSs are now collectibles. If you have original E.T., oh my God. Guys, I'll spend $50 if you have an original E.T. VHS. Those things are hard to find. It was like, they came out, they were hard to find, they were very expensive, and they were the first ones that they tried. I think those were the first ones that they tried to do an anti-copying thing. So it was a whole thing. Yeah. But that was a pretty interesting story, actually.
Like an encryption on it?
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the topics for the day. Yumi watched Glass last night.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Glass overall?
I liked it. I liked it more than the second time I seen Unbreakable, because when I seen Unbreakable before, I loved it. But then I went back, I watched Split, and I went back and watched it again, and there was just something I didn't like about it, and I think it was a lot of Shyamalan's influence and camera angles and stuff like that just seemed unnecessary sometimes. But then seeing Glass, it was like a really good... It was a good movie. I think he kind of held back a little bit and didn't try to... I mean, there was still some
he has his thumbprints on that thing for sure, though.
Yeah, there was some weird camera angles. It just didn't need to be there that way, but there was also the good side of his directing with some really cool imagery and stuff. So I thought it was a good movie all around.
Yeah. I did like it a lot. One thing, so we're not going to do any spoilers. Just a heads up, right? Yeah. But I do want to make sure people understand when they go see this, it's not really a superhero movie.
No.
Especially not compared to like today's standards. Don't go out there thinking you're watching the Marvel. Yeah. It's even... I'm trying to make sure I don't go spoilers.
It's more of a drama.
It is more of a drama, and it's really anticlimactic.
Yeah.
But realistic.
There is, I don't think it's spoiling to say, there is a Shyamalan twist.
There are a couple of them.
Yeah. So...
if you think about it.
Don't be too heartbroken.
I'm trying to like give you signals.
Yeah, and pay attention to details.
Just Shyamalan stuff.
They're short-lived, but yeah, it's... all around a good movie. A lot of foreshadowing that you and I picked up on throughout the movie, which is pretty cool.
Well, they were kind of heavy-handed on some things. One thing so it's what's funny about this Shyamalan movies, there's not a lot of others around there. Shyamalan is almost as effective as all the characters that are in it. Like when you think of this movie, I first think of it as a Shyamalan movie, then I'm like, oh yeah, it's a Bruce Willis and a Samuel Jackson and a James McAvoy movie. Yeah. And James McAvoy. Oh, how awesome was he?
He's so good. He's got to get an Emmy for that.
Well, not an Emmy because Emmys are for TV. Or Oscar.
Oscar, yeah.
He's so good. Yeah. Funny story about that. I'll just say it real quick. Shyamalan wrote Split and didn't know who to cast for the main character. Really? And so he's at Comic-Con. He's kind of like the back burner in his head and stuff like that. Yeah. He meets McAvoy, who's over there for playing Xavier. Yeah. And they meet for the first time. He's like, "You're the guy. I need you for a movie real quick." Real quick. Well, not even real quick, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's how he got the job. They just met at Comic-Con one time. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
He's phenomenal. I mean, he just did such a good job at differentiating his characters. Like, he seemed like he had legitimately 24 different personalities inside him. The way he did such a good job at that. So.
They filmed 23 and had to cut 3 out for time, but there's 20 characters that you see on screen played by James McAvoy. Yeah. And he's actually credited for all 20 characters, which is kind of cool at the end. You watch the credits.
That's funny.
Yeah. So how do you think the actual actors did? Other than James McAvoy, we just talked about him, but how do you think Samuel Jackson and Bruce Willis did?
One thing that was just a little bit disappointing is Samuel Jackson's character was very... Well, at least in the first half of the movie, didn't have much lines. Didn't have much presence in the movie. Later on, you realize that his presence, though it wasn't portrayed, he's
doing his thing.
Yeah.
Again, no spoilers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I think when you do see him act, it's really good.
I think everybody anticipates that he is doing stuff because he is very much Jaws, the fin in the water. He's always there. You know he's not some dude. You know how this is gonna go.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. When I see that twitch in his eye, I'm just like, oh, that poor guy just puddle right now.
I had assumed he was playing it up.
Yeah. I was hoping, but they really pull that string for a while, I guess.
And what'd you think about Bruce Willis?
Oh, he's phenomenal. Oh,
he's not like a great actor. He's just really good, Bruce Willis.
Yeah, he's good at being that character, which is like a really good character.
Yeah.
Like him and Liam Neeson can swap out of most roles, and I think that's perfect. Like that's who he should be trying to be in the movie. But I think he did a good job. I really liked. I forgot we talked about this after the movie too. That they brought back the same character to play his son.
Same son, same girl from Split, same mom from Unbreakable.
Yeah. So that was really cool because now he's probably 10 years older. Oh yeah, actually 10 years older. Right? Yeah. And he did a good job acting and playing as the guy's son.
I haven't seen him in anything, but he did a really good job.
Yeah. I hope this kind of helps continue his acting career.
One thing that I know you mentioned it last night after we watched the movie is you really liked how they were able to bring in Split and Unbreakable scenes.
Yes.
And they were seamless in their transition to them.
Yeah, they have not just like, this is a obvious flashback, but it was a flashback where they have footage from the original movie, but they spliced in freshly made brand new bits of it.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily see that it's new and old together. They did a really good job.
And they did some de-aging on Bruce Willis in one scene that I thought was seamless. They did a lot of really good things.
Yeah.
But for the M. Night, we'll go just a little bit longer on this. The M. Night Shyamalan stuff, he is very heavy-handed in his directing.
Yeah.
There's some very broad foreshadowing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He, like I was telling you, I think he's doing by-the-book camera angles, but he does them so well or so obviously that they're easy to catch.
Yeah.
Like the attached cam when on Bruce Willis when he's fighting. Yeah. That's to show not dizziness, but like disorientation. Thank you. So it's like, okay, that's obvious.
Yeah. And some of it's just not like some good distant shots during fights are great, but you don't need to be right in between them during the fight. I think and a lot of shots they'll have cut off part of the character's head or it'll pan in or pan out. That's dramatic, but you don't need that. Like, just show the meat and potatoes.
A lot of times when he does that pan from one angle and then you see the fight and then you keep going, that's to show that the fight's not what's important. It's what's around it that's important.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like, there's one shot where, like, the sun walks out of the building and then you see it, like, follow the sun from a bird-eye's view and then the camera's upside down.
Upside down, yeah.
That's to show that the sun... his world just turned upside down, that he doesn't know what to do now. Yeah. And then he goes into the van and looks back at what he told his dad, which was the de-aging actually scene.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying is like the camera angles are there deliberately, but they're very heavy-handed.
I want to see if they de-aged him or if that was a cutout clip from the
I thought that one, I see that, and the other ones were cutouts. Yeah. I think that one was de-aged.
But like, I mean like not a blooper, but a part that they edited out and didn't use.
Oh, yeah.
So original footage that they just didn't use.
That'd be cool.
Unless they did a phenomenal job de-aging him, but that looked really...
I thought they did, but yeah, maybe that was actually from the original scene. Because they made sure to make that scene very dark.
Yeah.
Because it was in the room. They didn't show the kid's face much because he would be super hard to de-age that much. Bruce Willis did step into the light a little bit. But anyways, overall, good movie. What'd you say out of 100?
I'd probably get it a 85?
85? Yeah. I liked the concept of how they made superheroes in real life and stuff like that. I'd give it about an 85 too, actually. I'm gonna go right with you, return a copy, but I gotta say it's well worth the watch. I'll probably buy it at least for Black Friday.
Yeah. Black Friday. Yeah. It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. All right. Our next topic we'll talk about is Supernatural 300's coming up in February. Hold on, I want to get the exact date so people can get all hyped. This is huge online right now. And hold on, see the paper because we do things realistic around here, guys. February 7th is Supernatural's 300th episode. I know for a lot of you guys who didn't know Supernatural is still doing well. It is. Yeah. They have conventions and everything.
They're on season 14 right now. And I hope they keep going. It's a long story. It's pretty much like almost every episode at the end of the season is almost the same. They go to hell, they go to a different dimension or whatever. But this one's different. Can I like tell you pretty much what's going on?
So yeah, so Daniel, for everybody, I'm gonna watch episode 300 because it's a really big moment and there's a really big character coming back. So, but I don't want to be completely lost. So I want you to kind of give us a rundown of what's going on in the story up to this point. Because a lot of us, I know for me and Jonathan, we watched season 1. But yeah, so what's going on since then?
Alright, so in season 13, Lucifer had a child, Nephilim.
I love how crazy this story is. He tells me bits and pieces sometimes, and I just laugh because it's so nuts, Dad.
So he's a Nephilim, which is he's pretty much as strong as God and God's sister. By the way, there's a God sister. So, anyways, when he was born, he opened up a rift, and it was like a different Earth. It was like Michael's Earth. Like Michael and the angels pretty much wanted to kill all the humans and change how Earth was. And anyways, their mom, by the way, came back to life.
I love how you did like a spoiler. We want you to tell them the story.
I know, it's crazy. But
can't just not be like, by the way, she's back. Covering up your mouth.
Well, anyways, their mom ends up going to this different Earth, this different world or whatever. So Sam and Dean are trying to figure out how to bring her back. And they pretty much go to the other world. They end up getting her back with the help of Lucifer and Jack, the kid. By the way, he's old. He's older already. He ages. He actually grew up to like teenager, like right away when
Lucifer's kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like right when he was born, he was already a teenager.
Poor woman.
Yeah, she died.
I bet she died because he just busted himself out of it.
I'm gonna crack an egg. I'm getting out of here.
So at the end of season 13, Lucifer ends up taking his son's power and using it, and pretty much Dean has to agree with Michael to use him as a vessel. So Michael ends up taking over his body and using him because he's the vessel for Michael. And there's a fight scene with Lucifer, and Michael wins, but the agreement was he was only going to use him just to fight Lucifer, and Michael betrayed him and pretty much is controlling Dean. And he put like Dean in like pretty much sleep mode, and he's just using his body. And Michael right now in season 14 is making an army of monsters to try to control Earth.
So if we were to watch this show right now, the storyline that we're working on is Dean, I know is one of the brothers. Michael's the other brother?
Yeah, Michael's...
The older one?
Yeah, it's one of the older ones.
Okay,
with,
so...
Lucifer.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about with the angels. Michael's the angel. Yeah,
okay.
Michael the angel.
So the two brothers, what are they doing?
Well, one of them's sleeping because he's a vessel now. Michael took over, and then the other one's trying to get him back.
You're saying like Michael possesses his body, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because with angels, you have to actually let them in. You gotta say, yes, you can come in, my vessel.
So if you're to watch this right now, they're...
I know, it's weird, I know.
Wait, what's the other brother's name? Dean, and what's the other one?
Sam. Okay. I knew Dean. That's one I know. So we watch the show right now. They're fighting off Lucifer, and while Michael is building up an army to fight Lucifer.
Yeah.
Right. What's Dean doing at this point then?
Right now he's sleeping because he said yes.
Oh, so then what is Sam doing?
Sam is trying to find a weapon to stop Michael, but Michael's really powerful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what
so
I wanted to...
If I was you, I would start in season 13, so you can watch everything, and then...
You think season 13 was a soft reboot for the show? Like, is that like a good place to kind of pick up and get fresh?
Well, if you want to like see season 14, yeah, but...
Okay.
Will you understand walking into it though, or does it take a lot? Is it like really deep already? Can you start at 13 without getting...
Is there a place to kind of... Because I know they did a Scooby-Doo episode where they full-on did Scooby-Doo animation and everything. That's what I'm saying. This show is so
I was telling John about that when I got here.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Oh, man.
They actually used the same episode. It was like the mansion scene when Scooby pretty much has spend the night at the mansion, and whoever won gets all the money or whatever.
Yeah, classic.
So they used that episode, and
so
they're
cool.
in it. It was pretty awesome too.
That's one thing I love about this show is some people to sleeper, but for a lot of people, kind of like Voyager for us, there's conventions for Supernatural. Yeah. It's actually by this creation, the same company that does a lot of the Star Trek conventions. Yeah. But fandom is super deep. The show's been saved by the fans like how many times? Like 5 times.
Yeah.
Where like they've done petitions and they've sent things in requesting that CW or whoever picks it up. So it's really big. I'm just trying to figure out, because I'm going to be watching 300 episode. The reason I'm going to watch 300th episode is big characters coming back from season 2. Their dad. What's their dad? Well, it's Jeffrey Dean Williams. So you guys remember from Walking Dead and Rampage. He's Negan. And so he's coming back. He last left during season 2. He left as a bargain. This is how crazy the story is. I think he agreed to go with a demon to save his son. If that sounds right? Do you remember that?
He pretty much sacrificed himself so his son could live. Because his son was about to die. They got in a car accident. And so he could bring him back. He pretty much...
Yeah.
Gave him. Yeah.
Deal with the devil. Yeah, basically. Yeah. So, but that was season 2. So this story has been up and down, left and right. And now he's coming back for the 300th episode.
Yeah.
Do you know if he'll be back for long or if he's going to be kind of...
No, this is going to be like probably 5 minutes the most.
That's what kills me. I know they're going to do that too. That's what kills me because I'm going to watch the show for that episode because I'm excited he's coming back. Yeah. And this could be for 5 minutes. He's on the screen.
So I was like researching it for a while to see what's going on. But it's going to be like maybe 5 minutes and they're going to try to use them to... wake up Dean, I think, but I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
So is he like back to life? Do you know, or is he dead from then?
He's still dead.
Oh, okay.
He's still dead.
He'll be just like helping from hell or from the other side where because right now I got to remember the stories about them fighting angels and demons, so he's still in that mix.
Yeah, it's supernatural. They go like you could go to hell and see people there, or go to heaven and
go visit somebody.
There's all the doors and their memories or whatever.
Go to hell for a long weekend and drink it and come back.
Like in heaven, in that story, it's like your fondest memory. Yeah. And then you're in a room. Like here's all these doors all the way down, and you just like that's your room.
Kind of reminds me of A Dreams May Come, Robin Williams movie. Yeah. I really like that movie a lot.
Yeah, that's cool.
So okay guys, check that out. That's February 7th, the 300th episode of Supernatural. Give it a second shot if you guys haven't. Where can we binge it? Is it all on Netflix?
It's all on Netflix. First to 13 seasons.
Okay, so that's a lot to binge. I think it's a 22 episode run each season.
Take about a little less than 2 weeks if you really try. I did.
No way. Yeah. There's no way. I know you just did it. Did you do it all in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I did it.
He just finished binging them all, so he's fresh on it. Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, that's hardcore. Oh, that's good. So yeah, guys, check them out. The 300th episode's coming up, so that's kind of a big news. It's been big on the Twitter sphere and stuff like that. You guys stop laughing about each other.
If I start watching it now, maybe this time next year I'll be done and we'll talk about it again.
Well, that's the thing is I wanted to make sure we kind of talk about it a little bit now because everybody's excited about it. Yeah. And I thought like, okay, people are excited about this show, and I know talking to him, the story's nuts. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's a lot, and if you haven't kept up with the story, it's kind of hard to just
jump into 14 or 13.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, wait, God had a sister? Wait, what?
That season in particular, you told me about that. And I was just
that was horrible.
Okay, so...
That was definitely one of the worst seasons.
Yeah.
I felt.
Okay, so the thing I wanted to bring up, and this is something I'm going to try to do every month. I'm going to try to actually do it at the beginning of the month, but we took a break, and we were gone for the beginning of the month. So I'm going to try to do this every month to kind of keep you guys refreshed. Xbox... Nintendo and PlayStation, they always give you free games every month. And I think it's important to kind of take advantage of this. Even if you're not currently playing, say also Xbox, if you still go on there and say, yes, give me this game, it's now in your library. So if you want to play it 6 months from now or a couple years from now, it's in your library. Yeah. You got it for free. You can download it then and play it. So always make sure you do that. Yeah. So I'm going to be talking about a couple games that are free, and you guys need to pick them up because January's heading out. You guys need to get these before January's done. Mm-hmm. Your Xbox, it's called Games with Gold. You always get 2 for Xbox One, and then you get 2 for 360. The 2 for Xbox One is called WRC, and that one is good from January 15th to the February 15th. It's kind of a rally racing game, WRC 6. And for the January 1st to 31st bracket, there's Celeste, and it's a platformer. And that one is one of the best games of 2018. I haven't played it yet, but a lot of my friends are. It's like a platformer, Mm-hmm. So you guys make sure you pick those up. That's for the Xbox One. The 360 ones, they're, there's only one right now that's valid, and it just started January 16th. Is Far Cry 2. You ever played any of the Far Cry games, John?
No, I don't think so.
You played Far Cry, right?
First and second one.
See, I didn't play those ones. And was second very good?
It was cool, but... It wasn't amazing. Me and my buddy would just make ramps and just drive vehicles. Awesome. Yeah. It was fun because there was like a created map you could do. It was awesome.
I haven't seen that in any of the latest ones. The creative map.
The new ones don't have it.
The driving game, like a demolition?
No. Oh no. It's kind of awesome. It's a first person shooter, which is surprisingly not very common. But it's open world. It's actually an Ubisoft game, so it's that formula. And one thing that's really cool is they'll drop you off in really unique places. My favorite so far, because I haven't played 5, is 4, and they drop you off in like Tibet. And so it's you see a lot of the culture and stuff like that of Tibet, and there's like a lot of elephants and stuff. And you like slowly progress through this open world. There's a storyline where you're trying to like, you go there to bury your mom's ashes or up on a mountain. And then you find out that your mom was a rebel leader.
And so then you want to carry on her torch.
Well, the rebel cause saves you from this like very charming bad guy that you're almost like, I kind of want to join him because he's cool.
Yeah.
And so the bad guy's like, look, I can just take you to the mountain that your mom wanted her ashes buried at, and then or dumped at, and you're good. Spread at, I think, is a better term than dumped at. I'm dumping these ashes here. Sweet, I got a free pot now.
Scooping them out with an old ladle.
Yeah, but anyway, so, and what's funny is in that game, if you actually takes you to a dining room and you wait for him to go, and then you're supposed to sneak around and get out, and then the rebels help you escape. Oh. But if you actually just sit and wait for him, you hear him torturing one of the rebel leaders in another room. But if you just wait for him, he comes back, like, all right, let's go. You get in the helicopter, and the game's done. The whole game's like 15 minutes.
Do you spread the ashes?
It doesn't show you spread the ashes, but you get in the helicopter and you go off to go spread the ashes, and it's a great story. That's it.
So he puts a bullet in your head and you don't realize it.
No. It ideally is, he just wants you gone because he knows how influential you can be. Yeah. He is very charming. Like, honestly, I can see him totally being nice. Like, I bet he's, like he would have been like, all right, here's your plane ticket, have a great day. Yeah. But no, the main story is you go with the 2 rebel leaders, and then the whole time you're trying to choose which one. It's a good story. But that's how all of them are, is you really get immersed in the culture as you're going through shooting stuff.
I need to get into another good game, too.
Far Cry 5. Now, Far Cry 5, I need to get, me and Squeaks are actually going to play it and do an episode about it. Because that's done in, like, Virginia. And it's about, like, a cult, a religious cult, and how they're, like, predicting this nuclear war. And big spoiler alert, because I know the spoilers to this one. Big spoiler alert, fast forward. Nukes go off. So people think he might be right. Nice. And so it's crazy. And then there's like this aggression thing that they keep in. Yeah. So anyway, so that looks good. But we're going to play that if you want to get in on that. It's pretty cheap now too.
I'll download that one and play it first.
Kingdom Hearts coming out.
Oh, that's true. Kingdom Hearts too.
Yeah.
That's big.
I don't think I like taking the Kingdom Hearts games.
There's
one with the keys, right?
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
You might be the only person on Earth who didn't like that game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. You heard it here first, guys. Jonathan can't be trusted. Yeah. Okay, so that's for Xbox Games of Gold. The PlayStation Plus games for you get for PS4 is Steep. It's like a snowboarding game. It's a pretty good one. Portal Knights, which is like an action RPG, kind of basic. For PS3, now remember, same thing with the Xbox 360 one. These are all backwards compatible, so you can still get them onto your account and then play them whenever. If you're just like, I don't care about graphics, I just want to play a good game. So for PS3 is Zone of the Enders and Amplitude. I think I played Amplitude back in the day, but it's been a long time. PS Vita, which is the portable one. Fallen Legions, Flames of Rebellion. That's just like a long title. Super Mutant Alien Assault is the other one. So those are available there. And then Nintendo Switch Online. And I got some news on that. We'll do next week. You're going to be able to get Blaster Master. There's Zelda 2. These are all NES games they give you free. And Ghosts and Goblins. Ninja Gaiden is also available, but that I think was released late December. But make sure you guys pick up Ninja Gaiden. I can't believe how many times I died on that game back in the day. It's very like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle level difficulty, like almost unbeatable. So those are the ones that are available. Guys, make sure you pick those up. Get them onto your account. They're locked in there forever.
You said new games come out like this every month that are free?
Every month. Every month, Xbox and PlayStation comes out with 2 games for each of their platforms. Nintendo does this thing now where if you spend, I think it's like $20 for the year. I want to say it's $20 for a full year. You get all their Nintendo games, and then there's some news that maybe NES, Super NES, and then possibly N64 will be getting on there. So both those are pretty great too.
Did you pick up Mercenaries last month or 2 months ago?
No.
Yeah, Mercenaries is on the list too.
There was no podcast telling me to get those.
Nice.
Dang, really, dude?
Yeah.
Mercenaries, man. There's one game. I mean, I've been like replaying Wildlands just because I'm hungry for Mercenaries.
I've seen you on that. I was like, what the? I still haven't beaten it.
I've beaten this main story, but now I'm trying to like actually complete every single thing on there. And there's one thing that I keep like dying on, but I'm like, okay, so the thing I keep dying on is you can kill Predator in it.
Yeah.
And it sucks because like what it is younger me was such a better hardcore gamer than older me now. Like now I want good stories. I want to be in the environment. I want to enjoy lighting. I want to like really enjoy my gameplay. But younger me was like, I will hammer my head against this wall until I break it. You know, the wall or my head, one of the two. And it's funny because like
right?
In the game, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm just like, ugh, it's such a dredge. I got stuff to do. Not shit to do. We're gonna do a podcast. But it's funny because like this thing, I'm like, I could seriously just not play this anymore and be fine with it. But I kind of feel embarrassed about myself. I'm like, come on, Frank. Your old self used to be able to just play this because back in the day, you got a new video game half a year, once every 6 months, and like Diddy Kong or whatever, you played every inch of it because it was your only game you could play.
You finish the original campaign like the first night, and then you keep replaying it until you master everything until you're done.
Till you shaved your Burnout. Remember Burnout? Man, I used to be able to drive Burnout racetracks like I kept doing with my eyes closed, you know, because that was the only game you had for a long time. A lot of racing games. Anyway, so I've been just keep trying to kill him. I finally killed Predator, and then it's so shady. I almost just like, I'm done with this game. This is when I gave up. But anyways, so you kill Predator, you walk up to go like talk to him, whatever, and then you see him activate something on your wrist, and you got to run away because he's about to blow up. And I just barely died, and then it respawns right before you killed him. So I got to kill him again. So I'm just like, this game's garbage. I'm out of here. Screw this game. I love Wildlands though, but yeah, it's kind of scratching the Mercenaries itch. Mercenaries was such a good game. They really should bring it back.
It was.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I think that's going to be it for us today. We'll have some more topics for you guys next week. This will be this recording, and the next recording will be the last times we do it in this location. Then we're going to be in our studio finally. That's been exhausting. Just hit the flooring for it. John's been helping me with that. I appreciate it. But yeah, so we'll see you guys next week, and you'll have a good week. Bye.
Bye.